I don't understand the media constantly trying to twist the things I say into a negative way when all I want is better for women. I really don't understand it.
What about that situation made it so toxic? And which situation are you referring to?
Well, I think the Sparks was really just like a nail in the coffin.
So guess who just came out of retirement with a whole lot to say? Yep, Liz Cambage. And let's just say she's not here to play nice. She's finally shedding light on what really went down with her WNBA exit. And let me tell you, it's not the story we were all fed.
I've just never found a situation that I feel comfortable in, that I feel secure in, and that I feel protected in. And as a woman, I need to feel all these things to be the best I can be.
Turns out that whole story about her going off the rails and being forced into early retirement, according to Liz, that was all part of a neatly packaged PR spin by the league. But here's the real kicker. It's not just about who crafted the story, it's about why they did it in the first place.
What would your answer be?
You don't pay me enough. You do not pay me enough to warm up this Achilles every other day and hoop and get the shit beaten out of me on court to then sit in a commercial seat tomorrow.
Now, if you were one of those people who got side-eyed for thinking there was a shady connection between Liz being pushed out and Brittney Griner suddenly returning like a hero, congratulations, because it looks like we weren't crazy after all, noticing the sudden change. It's starting to look like the WNBA would go to great lengths to protect Brittney's image, even if it meant throwing one of their brightest stars under the bus. But Liz, she's not staying silent anymore. She's back, and this time, she's not just telling her side, she's ready to bring receipts. And if a few big names and reputations get dragged in the process, so be it. Liz just lit the internet on fire after finally spilling the tea about why she really left the WNBA, or to be more accurate, why she was pushed out. Because according to her, the story we've been told all this time, not even close to the truth.
So you're saying your issue is more so about the dispersal of this money. Why is only one type of person getting this $1 million? How can we make the playing field level for everybody involved? And you feel like that message has been lost in translation for you?
It's been so lost when it was just literally one tweet. I don't understand how one tweet...
For a while now, Liz has been away from the court, doing her own thing, including building her career on OnlyFans. And most people believe that she quietly stepped away after her reputation took a hit following that infamous incident with a Nigerian basketball team. The public explanation was that she had become too controversial and a PR liability. But now Liz is setting the record straight in a bombshell interview with Taylor Rooks on Bleacher Report. And what she revealed is wild. She says the whole situation was a setup. According to her, the WNBA basically made her the scapegoat, all to protect Brittney Griner. If this all sounds a little far-fetched, just wait for the next banger.
You know, defending me is be physical with me and foul me and hit me. It's not play her straight up. It's not put a body on her. It's like beat the shit out of her on court. And then referees want to even up the game and just let it happen.
Remember the 2021 pre-Olympic scrimmage, where headlines went crazy over claims that Liz hurled slurs at players from Nigeria's De Tigres team, reportedly calling them monkeys and telling them to go back to their third world country. The media went off. Social media was in flames. And Liz, she was dragged for days. But now she's saying it didn't happen like that at all. In fact, she swears she never used any racial slurs, pointing out that she's deeply pro-black, and that would go against everything she stands for. And sure, you might think, well, obviously she'd deny it to save her image. But here's the thing, people have been digging up footage from that game, and from what's visible, it wasn't some one-sided meltdown. It looked like a typical high-tension match, with both sides getting fired up and throwing hands. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Now let's be real, Liz has had her own controversial moments. No one's denying that she's a polarizing figure. But when it comes to this incident, Liz believes she was purposely thrown under the bus and for something much bigger than just trash talk on the court. And if you want more proof, just look at how none of her teammates stepped in when a player from the opposing team went after her. Total silence, like she was left out to dry. This whole situation? Yeah, it's giving major conspiracy energy, but hold tight. because things are about to get even more intense. At first, Liz didn't fully grasp what was happening. It took her a while to piece it all together, but eventually she realized that the drama during the 2021 pre-Olympic Games that wasn't the only time she'd been lured into reacting. According to her, the pattern started way earlier. Even before that incident, Liz says she was already dealing with pressure and pushback from certain players and executives. But the mask really slipped in 2022 when she finally opened up about why she parted ways with the Los Angeles Sparks. For a bit of background, Liz's 2022 contract with the Sparks sounded like a sweet deal. It promised her a $170,000 salary plus some added perks like a car, paid rent, and a few extra benefits. But once she signed, she claims it all turned out to be smoke and mirrors. Turns out the WNBA classified those perks as impermissible benefits, which basically meant she wasn't going to see a dime of that extra stuff. And to make matters worse, she says the treatment she received from the staff and even her teammates was absolutely brutal. In her own words, playing for the Sparks was the lowest point of her career.
When you're benefiting off my image of me being here as well, it's just like it's not protective, it's not a situation. I'm not Shaq. I'm not I'm a girl. I'm just a girl that likes to hoop. And it's just, you guys try to continuously turn me into you want me to be this beast, you want me to be this, you want me to be that. I'm just Liz, yo.
Despite repeatedly voicing her concerns, Liz says she was ignored over and over. Eventually, she felt so suffocated that she had no choice but to walk away mid-season. She called it a toxic environment and said she had to save herself before it broke her completely. But here's the part that really stings. While Liz was being treated like an outcast, she noticed that other players on the same team were being given even more perks than she was originally promised. That's when it hit her. This wasn't just bad luck, it felt intentional, like she was being cast as the villain without any clear reason.
Some people want it so bad that they want to take other people out of the light so they can take it for themselves.
Well, what sticks out to me about what you just said is that you didn't have an answer to a time that you felt.
It wasn't until much later that she says the pieces really came together. From the cold shoulders to the gaslighting, the subtle digs from other players, and the way her complaints kept getting swept under the rug, it all felt like a setup. A calculated move to push her out of the league without making it look like she was being pushed out. Why? According to Liz, they were doing it to protect Brittney Griner. And that's what leads us to the big question. Why Brittney? Why would the league go to such great lengths for one player? Why sacrifice Liz? Well, for a while now, there have been whispers about Brittney Griner, about who she is, how she plays, and the physical advantages she seems to have over other women in the league. There's been a lot of online speculation about her appearance, her strength, and how aggressive she is on the court, stuff that fans say stands out even by pro athlete standards. Now, under normal circumstances, athletes have to go through all sorts of eligibility tests to compete. But despite growing calls for a proper investigation, especially around players like Brittney, the league has remained completely silent. And that silence? It's only added fuel to the fire. More and more people are beginning to believe that the WNBA is hiding something in order to protect her. Why, though? The WNBA has had its fair share of controversies over the years, and it's tried to lean into more progressive policies, especially when it comes to queer and trans inclusion. And while that's something many would consider a step forward, several players have started speaking out, claiming that these woke policies are now being used in ways that hurt biological female players. One of the most vocal critics is two-time national champion Val Whitting, who said, "A lot of my basketball sisters feel differently, but trans women do not belong in women's sports. It's neither fair nor safe for biological women. There has to be another solution for trans women to be able to compete athletically besides having them compete against biological women. Inclusivity is one thing, but when it starts becoming at the expense of innocent female players who just want a shot at pursuing their dream, it's something else." And honestly, a lot of fans agree, especially when it seems like Brittney keeps getting a pass for stuff that would have gotten anyone else benched or canceled. The aggressive plays, the flying elbows, the intense post-game rants online, and some pretty eyebrow-raising comments. It's all starting to paint a bigger picture. Now, there's been this one lingering question floating around for years. How does Brittney keep getting a pass for stuff while Liz got canceled? People have long pointed out how Brittney's physicality goes above and beyond even by pro-athlete standards. But lately, her style of play has taken on a level of intensity that's left other players visibly hurt. We're talking elbows to the face, bruises, full-on body blows, during what are supposed to be basic scrimmages. Even Liz has walked away from a few games looking roughed up, while Brittney seems untouched, like she just took a casual jog around the block. So naturally, when one athlete keeps showing this kind of dominance without ever taking a hit, fans start connecting the dots. Take that moment when Brittany called Caitlin Clark a slur right in front of the world. No punishment, no investigation, not even a generic PR apology. All we got was a clip of Brittany saying it didn't happen, despite thousands of people watching it unfold in real time. It's incidents like that make people question what's really going on behind the scenes, and whether Liz was actually pushed out, not because she was a problem, but because she refused to play along. Let's be real. If the tables were turned and Caitlin Clark had said what Brittney Griner did, the league would have had a field day dragging her through the mud. They'd toss her to the media wolves, end her career in a heartbeat, and call it a day. And honestly, isn't that exactly what happened to Liz Cambage with the Nigerian team situation? Even though the footage clearly showed her being provoked and she outright stated that using slurs was never something she'd do, she still got pushed out. No second chances, no benefit of the doubt, just booted. In just the past few weeks, Brittany's been catching a serious wave of criticism, especially after some tense moments with rising star Caitlin Clark. And let's be honest, the WNBA didn't exactly step in, did they? No fines, no suspensions, no real consequences. Fans noticed. Many fans believe the WNBA didn't take any action against Brittany because of her masculinity and the possibility that the league is hiding something from the public. After all, if they could let Liz go, then Brittany shouldn't be untouchable either. One of the biggest conversations happening online right now is tied to something that allegedly happened while Brittany was locked up in that Russian prison. Reports floating around that claim that she underwent several medical evaluations, one of which was supposedly a DNA test. The kicker? It never made headlines. What caught people's attention was a screenshot going viral, showing a caption at the bottom of a news clip that read, "DNA test ordered by officials to determine male or female prison." The screenshot, which popped up in a Facebook post on August 6th, racked up hundreds of shares in just a few days. Of course, people instantly started debating whether it was real, and as you can imagine, the conspiracy theories exploded from there. According to the claims tied to the screenshot, the test supposedly revealed certain biological markers that would explain Brittany's dominant presence on the court. Now let's be clear, none of this has ever been publicly confirmed, but that hasn't stopped fans from asking questions. Then there's her voice, that deep, natural, commanding tone. For many longtime followers, it's nothing new. Brittany's talked about her voice and her identity many times over the years, but every time a candid video of her goes viral, the same tired commentary resurfaces. The most recent clip showed her casually chatting courtside, probably after a workout or maybe just during a chill moment. She was speaking in her usual voice, just being herself. But that didn't stop people from jumping back into the same conversation we've been hearing for over a decade. She's posted tons of clips on her own social media at the gym, hanging out with the family, and during press events. But this one felt different to people. Maybe it was less polished, more raw, and that kind of unfiltered glimpse tends to catch people off guard if they're not already familiar with her. It's not just the video either. An old pool clip of Brittany resurfaced too. She's shirtless, playing water basketball, laughing, dunking a ball, just goofing off. But what do people focus on? Not the fun, not the skill, nope. Comment sections lit up with questions about her body, specifically her flat chest, and why she wasn't wearing a bikini top. Fans were quick to point out the double standards. One user on Twitter hit the nail on the head saying, they kicked Liz Cambage and Kennedy Carter out of the league for some of these types of things they're letting old girls get away with. It's also becoming pretty clear that the people who wanted Liz gone were more concerned about keeping their own skeletons locked away. Because if you ask Liz or even her former teammates, she didn't want to leave. When she left the Sparks, her teammates were literally in tears. That says a lot. And the fans? Oh, they've been loud about wanting her back. One fan tweeted, "Brittney Griner is really Britt Griner. Ma'am, sir, is a man disguising himself as a woman. The WNBA knew Griner was a man. It was all about bringing in more fans. Simply, they should lower the rims for women's basketball. Players to 8 feet. And I can guarantee you that more men's will attend the game." So if the fans are ready and Liz's teammates were heartbroken when she left, why does the league still act like she was the problem all along? Now, to be fair, Liz does come with some drama. Since her 2011 draft, she bounced around a lot, 12 different teams, including 4 in the WNBA, plus stints in China, Australia, and Israel. She's never played back-to-back seasons with the same squad. But here's the frustrating part. People only seem to care when Liz does it. There are plenty of other female athletes who've switched teams or gone overseas for seasons. But they're not getting slammed like this. Liz gets dragged harder than players who've actually broken the law. Take Brittney Griner, for example. She served jail time for carrying and using illegal substances, actual crimes, and somehow still gets more grace than Liz ever did. Liz didn't just walk away from the WNBA because she was difficult or controversial. It honestly seems like she was pushed out on purpose. From the way the Nigeria incident was blown out of proportion to the cold treatment she got while playing for the Sparks, it's like the league was just waiting for her to slip so they could use it as an excuse to cut ties. And while players like Brittney Griner get chance after chance, even with major controversies, Liz was given none. No benefit of the doubt, no real support, just silence. That double standard is loud. That's why so many fans believe it's not a coincidence. It's starting to look like Liz was the sacrificial lamb thrown under the bus so the WNBA could protect Brittney at all costs. But there's one thing people are still trying to wrap their heads around. How did the league manage to quietly shove Liz out to cover for Brittney without the public catching on sooner? Well, now the tides are turning. People are finally asking questions. They're demanding answers. And this could be the moment Liz needs for the comeback of a lifetime. Because if she does return, she's not just walking in like nothing happened. She's bringing the receipts. She's ready to expose the whole system. Who said what, who covered it up, and how it all led to the fall of one of the league's brightest stars. And if what she's planning is already underway, let's just say heads are about to roll. And this time, the WNBA might not be able to sweep it under the rug.